I want you on Team Zissou.
The answer's yes.
Well, it's got to be.
The Life Aquatic. Wes Anderson's 2004 film about Steve Zissou and his quest for revenge against a jaguar shark. It's Anderson's lowest rated film on Rotten Tomatoes, but that didn't stop a cult following from developing. And this cult in particular has honed in on an extremely distinct visual aspect of the movie: red beanies. Today we're gonna follow the red thread and dive into the history behind the beanie and why it is red. The Life Aquatic wears its inspiration on its sleeves. The movie starts out with a clip saying it is dedicated to Jacques Cousteau, and they say this.
Supposedly, Cousteau and his cronies invented the idea of putting walkie-talkies into the helmet. But we made ours with a special rabbit ear on the top so we could pipe in some music.
Jacques Cousteau was infamous for his generation. And if you missed the train the first time around, maybe you have caught up by watching the 2021 documentary Becoming Cousteau. Cousteau was a lot of things. A filmmaker, a traveler, a diver, and an innovator. In many ways, he can be considered an early pioneer of the modern traveling photographer lifestyle. He made below-the-sea documentary films, and going deeper with the camera demanded innovation on the current available diving equipment. Jacques Cousteau worked hard and grew in influence until he made his way onto the world's TV screens with The Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau, first aired in 1968. All while wearing the red beanie so faithfully that it became an icon to represent the man, the adventure, and the pioneer lifestyle. But Jacques Cousteau did not choose the red beanie for nothing, and in fact, he was not even the first to make it an icon of diving.
Stay longer. Go deeper.
We have to go back to 1906 and a cathedral in Winchester, England that was slowly sinking into a mire due to faulty foundation work. To fix the problem, they had to pump out the groundwater, but to do this, the walls of the cathedral had to be shored up. William Walker was the most experienced diver available in the area, or almost in the area, we'll get to that. And he took on the job. 25,000 bags of concrete, 115,000 concrete blocks, 900,000 bricks, and 5 years later, he was done. And I mentioned he was not from the area. At times during his work, he would bicycle home in the weekends, 70 miles or 112 kilometers away. And of course, as you understand by now, he was wearing the red hat. By the time we get to Jacques Cousteau, the red beanie was standard issue for divers. If you look at old imagery from the time, it is unfortunately black and white. But go one step further to illustrations from old diving books, you will see the red pop up all over the place. Now, did William Walker single-handedly make the red hat an icon of diving and pioneering? In fact, we can follow the red thread even further back, all the way back to 1823, when Charles Anthony Deane from the English coastal town of Whitstable patented a helmet that would allow you to go into smoke-filled buildings and rescue people. From there, it didn't take long until he and his brother had explored other opportunities, and in the years between 1825 and 1829 the first diving helmet was developed. In 1829, the seafarers of Whitstable amassed a crew and used the diving helmet to recover a sunken load of copper worth 100,000 pounds. Understandably, this launched a diving industry of proportions. It was the beginning of Whitstable being the go-to town for high-skilled divers the next 100 years. And incredibly, there is a single source that mentions the red hat in this context, and in a roundabout way connects it to Whitstable. In a book from 1851 by Henry Mayhew, he describes London, its history and people, and he mentions the oyster farmers lined up in the Thames, peddling their goods as their red hats bobs up and down. Now Whitstable was famous for oyster farming, and it is right outside of London. So given the connection between red hats and diving, it is not too far a stretch to assume it was already a common color among Whitstable oyster farmers at the time diving began developing. Now, we can ask, why did these sea folk of Whitstable pick the red beanies to fight the elements? I can only think of two possible answers. One, it might have been their color of choice to stand out against the blue sea to avoid workplace accidents. Secondly, they probably thought red was a pretty cool color, which is the reason why I pull my own beanie out of the closet every now and then. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. If you like red hats, if you like going on adventures, and if you maybe like a little drop of Norwegian culture here and there, hit subscribe, hit the bell, stay connected, sign up to our email list, and I'll see you later. Thank you.